people of the galaxy, watch as we teach these humans a lesson.
The Verdun hung alone over the planet, scarred gray hull facing an armada no single frigate could survive.
Surrender or die, human. Your defiance is entertainment for the galaxy.
Captain, they've got enough firepower to vaporize us. What do we do?
We do nothing. Let them watch.
Captain Sarah Chen had already transmitted a single coded word through a secure, narrow beam channel.
You have 1 hour. When this countdown ends, your ship will be destroyed for the amusement of the galaxy.
The countdown began. 60 minutes. The galaxy watched, expecting the lone human ship to crumble.
An hour? They're not even negotiating. This is a execution.
No, Lieutenant. It's the longest hour of their lives, and the last one of their empire.
What do you mean, Captain? Last one of their empire.
We are not a sacrifice, Lieutenant. We are witnesses.
She glanced at the countdown. 52 minutes remaining. The coded word had been received.
We offer you one last chance, human. Transmit your unconditional surrender, and we will let your crew live as servants of the Concord.
Captain, you are not going to respond?
They don't need an answer. The galaxy will see everything.
The crew exchanged uneasy glances, but no one questioned her. They had served with Chen long enough to trust that calm.
45 minutes, human. Are you praying? We can hear your silence across the void. It tastes like fear.
They're still talking. That means they haven't fired yet.
Exactly, Lieutenant. That's all we need.
On the Vorlash flagship, Admiral Vayak watched the silent human ship with growing irritation.
The human remains silent. They are not broadcasting any fear. This is unusual.
Arrogance. They think their silence is strength. Let them be silent. In 40 minutes, they will be silent forever.
Vayak turned to the tactical display. The Concord Armada had surrounded the Verdun in a perfect sphere of firepower.
Order all ships to lock weapons on the Verdun. I want the galaxy to see death ready to strike.
Admiral, the Galactic Council Charter protects observers. If we destroy a ship that has not fired...
The Council consists of the weak. We are the Concord. We make our own law.
The countdown reached 35 minutes. The Armada's weapons came alive across the sphere.
He is making a mistake. This human captain knows something.
But Thera said nothing more. The Concord's pride was absolute, and it was about to meet humanity's patience. Minutes bled into minutes. The hour crawled toward its end while Vayak's taunts echoed across the void, unanswered.
Stand by shutdown. All non-essential systems off on my mark.
10 seconds left. The Verdun's lights cut out, running lights extinguished, engines silenced, the hull cold and dead.
There. Their fear finally swallowed them. Power down is surrender.
0. The countdown flared red and vanished. The Concord Armada tensed, torpedoes glowing hot in their tubes, waiting for the Admiral's word.
Captain, they're going to fire.
Hold. Let them commit.
Admiral, emergency. Gravimetric spikes. Multiple FTL emergencies.
Behind the Verdun, space shattered. The dark erupted with engine fire, a wall of steel emerging from the jump wash, too vast for sensors to count. 90,000 warships, hulls still radiant from the fold, materialized in perfect formation. The Concord's firing solutions collapsed. Every weapon lock broke. The Concord bridge plunged into chaos. Alarms shrieked as the tactical map became a solid red wall of new signatures.
What is this? Identify them.
Human warships, Admiral. Too many to count. I count signatures, they're still jumping in.
Then the flagship channel opened. Admiral Michael Osei's voice cut through the din with calm authority.
Admiral Vayak, this is Admiral Michael Osei of the Unified Human Fleet. You will stand down immediately.
You dare threaten the Concord? Our Armada outguns.
Check your sensors. You are not outgunning anything, but we didn't come to fight.
Aboard the Verdun, the lights flickered back on. Captain Sarah Chen allowed herself a single breath.
We came because you chose to broadcast your threats to the entire galaxy for the last hour, and we have been recording every word.
The open channel went silent. On every Concorde bridge, the same chill realization crept in. The humans weren't here to fight. They had come to expose.
Let the galaxy see what the Concorde considers entertainment. Play the recording.
The holographic screen lit up with the Verdun's perspective. Vayak's voice rang out again. People of the galaxy, watch as we teach these humans a lesson. The recording continued, unedited. Hour of sneering demands of the countdown to execution. Of the Concorde's own words delivered with pride. On 1,000 worlds, alien families watched the broadcast in stunned silence. The Concorde's mask of law and order had cracked wide open.
A fabrication. Human trickery. You have tampered with the recordings.
Every transmission carries your fleet's encryption and timestamps. Your own flagship logged it. You are condemned by your own meticulous records.
He knew. The human captain knew this would happen.
The Galactic Council's emergency channel ignited with condemnation. Species after species demanded the Concorde answer for its broadcast. On the Concorde bridges, officers stared at their screens as Allied ships began to break formation, their transponders shifting from red to neutral gray. Vayak's grip on his armada was slipping. The hour he had orchestrated for humiliation was now his empire's undoing.
The Concorde signed the Galactic Accord on Observer Protections. By broadcasting your intent to destroy the Verdun, you have triggered Article 12. Article 12 revokes all Allied defense pacts effective immediately. Your allies are no longer obliged to protect you. You stand alone.
That clause applies to war, not intimidation. We have not fired.
The recording shows weapon locks and a countdown to execution. The Accord defines that as an act of aggression. You are condemned by your own voice.
Vayak grabbed the communication console, hailing the Concorde High Council on the encrypted command frequency. The channel opened, but no response came. Only silence. The Concorde government had already seen the broadcast and was cutting ties.
Admiral, the Allied powers are withdrawing. Their transponders are going dark on our tactical network. They are not answering our hails.
Thera turned from her console, her cold expression breaking for the first time. She had predicted this, but the speed of the collapse was something else.
We built an empire on fear, and now fear is devouring us.
Vayak stared at the silent council channel. He had boasted the Concorde made its own law. Now the galaxy was choosing not to enforce it.
Admiral, the Sovereign Coalition has broadcast their withdrawal. They denounce our actions and declare full neutrality. The Trinary Pact follows. They are hailing the human fleet, offering to break formation.
Cowards. Without the Concorde, they are prey for the Void.
On the tactical display, Concorde ships began deactivating targeting systems one by one. The Armada's formation dissolved into chaos.
Entire squadrons are withdrawing. My authority requests are being ignored.
The human fleet transmitted a single message on all open channels. Power down your weapons and you will not be fired upon. The human wall held, engines humming, while the Concorde Armada bled its own strength into the void.
Fire on the defectors. They are traitors.
The crews will not obey. We have lost command authority on 3/4 of the fleet.
By the hour's end, the once mighty Armada had shrunk to a scattered remnant, surrounded and abandoned. The Verdun's lights burned steady behind the human line.
Admiral, this battle is lost. The galaxy has condemned us. You must stand down.
I will not be lectured by a subordinate. We will fight to the last ship.
Vayak lunged for the firing console, his claws extended, intent on launching a final salvo.
Security override. Lock him out of weapons. Authorization Thera C7.
The console flashed red, access denied. The crew had already sided with Thera, disabling the Admiral's codes.
You are relieved of command, Admiral. For the good of the Concorde, I am assuming authority.
2 guards moved forward, not to seize Thera, but to stand beside her. Vayak was alone.
You betray your own species. The humans will destroy us all.
Number. We destroyed ourselves when we turned cruelty into entertainment. Now we salvage what we can.
Thera opened a channel to the human fleet. Her voice, steady, carried a single word: negotiation.
Concord, commanders, the galaxy has witnessed the truth. Your admiral used you as props for his cruelty. I offer you a choice. Power down your weapons, and you will face justice, not annihilation.
Her message cut through the chaos. On a dozen bridges, captains looked at their crew and gave the order. Weapon after weapon deactivated across the void. The Concord battle net showed no active firing solutions.
This is Commander Thera. Our flagship is disarmed. All remaining Concord vessels follow my lead.
Vayak, slumped against a bulkhead, could not even muster rage, only a hollow stare at the ruins of his ambition. The human fleet held position, engines idling, as the last threat evaporated.
Commander Thera, your act prevents needless death. The galaxy will note it.
We were fools, but I will not let my crew pay for Vayak's arrogance.
And so, without a missile launched, the hour of mockery ended. The Verdun's lights shone steady. A witness to the day, arrogance met its reckoning. The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as the recording of Vayak's threats played once more. No delegate could look away. An insectoid ambassador rose and spoke. The Concord has betrayed every principle of this body. We move for immediate expulsion. The vote was unanimous. Concord delegates rose, their seats darkening, their diplomatic lights going dead. Across the galaxy, the news ignited hope the Concord had spent centuries extinguishing. Admiral Michael Osei addressed the council. The Concord High Council has transmitted its own dissolution order to avoid accountability. They are running. In the Concord capital, the Grand Council chamber stood empty. The banners of empire flickered and died on 100-member worlds. The oppressed took to the streets, demanding independence. The old fear was gone. The galaxy map, once dominated by Concord red, now fractured into 1,000 new colors. Each world reclaimed its own destiny. Captain Sarah Chen watched the cascading reports from the Verdun. She had gambled everything on this moment. The Concord had collapsed not from war, but from the weight of its own cruelty made public. And the galaxy would never forget. 6 weeks before the standoff, Captain Sarah Chen entered Admiral Michael Osei's office on Earth. No record of the meeting would ever be filed.
The Concord has been pushing at our border sectors for months. We need a legal trigger, Captain. Something that exposes their true nature.
You need a witness. A ship that will not fire back, that will record every threat. I'll take the Verdun.
If they follow their usual pattern, they'll surround and mock you. The fleet will jump in after exactly 1 hour of recording. You'll be alone until then.
I understand. 1 hour of their cruelty, broadcast by their own hand. The treaty will activate.
The galaxy will see them threaten an unarmed observer. Every ally will abandon them. But you must not break, Sarah. Not for an hour.
I've never broken. I'll transmit the code word when they take the bait.
Then transmit Indomitable. The fleet will respond. Good luck, Captain.
That night, alone in her quarters, Sarah studied the treaty protocols and composed the message she would never send. She had volunteered for the hardest role in the fleet, to be the bait that looked like prey, the trap that wore a scarred hull and a silent voice. Vayak had one final card hidden in his console, a manual launch trigger bypassing the safeties. His claw found it.
Stop him. He's firing a missile.
The guards seized Vayak's arm, twisting it away from the console. Thera slammed her palm on the emergency cutoff. The missile's guidance died mid-flight, harmlessly detonating 10,000 kilometers from the Verdun.
It's over, Vayak. You will not take more lives with you.
You've doomed us all. The Concord will burn.
Thera turned away from him and opened a direct channel to the human flagship. Her voice was steady.
Admiral Michael, Admiral Vayak has been subdued. I surrender the remaining Concord forces on my authority.
The human fleet acknowledged and began escorting the disarmed ships into secure holding formations. No further resistance remained. Later, Vayak was led away in restraints, his career a footnote in the galaxy's witness. The Concord's final gasp had been little more than a whisper. Within days, the Galactic Council convened a war crimes tribunal. Admiral Vayak and his senior staff stood in the dock. Captain Sarah Chen was called as the first witness. She walked to the stand, the scar on her chin sharp under the lights.
I was ordered to remain silent, to record, and to let the Concord reveal itself. Every threat is preserved in the evidence.
The tribunal broadcast the recording again. On every world, spectators watched the evidence in gripping silence. Vayak sat motionless as his own voice filled the chamber, snarling threats and mocking the law. The evidence was crushing. The ruling was swift and unanimous. Vayak received life imprisonment. Other commanders faced similar sentences. The Concord High Council, seeing no escape, issued its formal dissolution. The Empire's banners were struck from every hall, but on a dozen fringe worlds, warlords refused to submit. They seized arsenals and declared blood oaths of defiance.
Victory is not enough. We must show them a future worth surrendering for, or the fighting will never end.
The galaxy held its breath. All eyes turned to humanity, wondering if justice would be tempered with mercy or crushed under ancient rage. Human task forces fanned out to the rogue worlds, not to occupy, but to isolate the warlords and protect civilians caught in the crossfire.
We are not avenging angels. We are the shield now, and shields don't punish.
If we rule with an iron fist now, we'll replace the Concord. The galaxy needs to see we're different.
Joint patrols formed, human cruisers alongside former Concord allies who had turned against the warlords. Trust, fragile but real. On a dozen worlds, the engines of war were silenced. Scavenger crews dismantled the Concord's abandoned arsenals, turning swords into shelters. In a docking bay, a human lieutenant and a former Concord Guard captain shook hands. Beneath their feet, old propaganda flaked from the deck.
Every hand we extend is a weapon we choose not to raise. The war will truly end here, in these small mercies.
Galactic news feeds ran the images on loop, not of retribution but of reconstruction. The narrative was shifting slowly. Admiral Michael received transmissions from worlds buried in the Concord's old conquests, begging for membership in the new alliance. But the hard is, garrisons still held out. The galaxy could not fully exhale until the last warlord chose surrender over extinction. A coded message arrived on the flagship from the fortress world of Xylos V. The last Concord faction leader, General Draven, requested a direct channel.
He's willing to disarm entirely. In exchange, he wants amnesty for his soldiers. Not a pardon, just no executions.
We can't execute a surrendering enemy, Admiral, but amnesty will be hard for the Council to swallow.
I am offering amnesty to Xylos V. This is our final strategic necessity.
The galaxy needs to see us hold true to our word. If we punish a surrender, no one will ever surrender again.
The council vote was tight, but the precedent held. Amnesty was granted.
General Draven, your offer is accepted. Stand down your forces and surrender your vessels. In return, you have the Council's word, no reprisals.
One by one, the fortress worlds accepted the terms. The last Concord warships powered down, their hulls darkening forever. The Concord military was no more. The galaxy could finally breathe.
It's done. But the real work begins now, building a peace that doesn't crack.
Across the galaxy, broadcast feeds replaced tactical displays. The Concord's fall filled every screen. The Concord High Council chamber remained empty, its grand doors sealed, the Empire's sigil a fading scar on the wall. In the graveyard of fleets, salvage crews carved the Concord's warships into raw material for hospitals and housing. The capital worlds that once bowed to the Concord tore down statues of Vayak and burned banners in the streets. A victory parade stretched across the orbit of the liberated homeworlds. Human and alien ships flew wing to wing. Former enemies flew beside human cruisers, their calm channels full of gratitude, not surrender. The old order was gone. Refugee camps dissolved as families returned to worlds they hadn't seen in generations. The galaxy exhaled. A single Concorde helm, scarred and burnt, sat in a scrap heap. The salvage crew painted it white and planted a flag of peace. Yet in the Council archives, one question remained unanswered. What law would prevent another empire from rising? The Verdun, still scarred, drifted at the head of the parade. The galaxy's memory was only beginning. Exactly 1 year after Vayak's countdown hit 0, the Galactic Council reconvened in the same chamber. The Concorde seats were gone. The final dissolution treaty was signed. The Concorde's name faded into history, its territory divided into peaceful protectorates.
We proposed the Verdun Protocol. Any broadcast threat against an unarmed observer will be met with recording, revelation, and the full consequences of the accord.
The vote was unanimous. Delegates rose, not in fear, but in conviction, their raised hands sealing the law. Captain Sarah Chen stood when called, the scar on her chin a quiet reminder of the weight she had borne. She received the Stellar Cross, the highest civilian honor.
This medal belongs to the crew of the Verdun, and to the truth we carried. May no ship ever bear such weight alone again.
Admiral Michael Osei watched from the front row, his eyes betraying a father's pride he dared not voice aloud. Later, in the Grand Hall, a holographic engraving of the Verdun was etched into the Council's wall of witness, its name in 100 languages.
1 hour of silence gave a galaxy a century of peace. I would do it again.
The Verdun Protocol became law, and the galaxy learned that humanity did not bring more guns. They brought a memory longer than any empire's patience.
Humanity did not win this peace with fleets or fire. We won it by watching, by recording, by letting the galaxy see what we saw.
He paused, the silence of the hall a witness to the weight of his words.
An empire fell, not because we brought more guns, we brought receipts.
The phrase rippled through the audience, alien delegates suddenly understanding what humanity had truly deployed.
They threatened a lone ship for an hour, and that hour was all we needed. Their own words became their sentence.
On the Verdun, Captain Chen watched the speech from a quiet console, the scar on her chin catching the light.
The truth, recorded and shared, is the most terrifying weapon. It needs no warhead.
He gestured toward the holographic image of the Verdun projected behind him, its hull still scarred, still proud.
May every empire that thinks itself above the law remember this. Humanity watches, and we remember.
The assembly rose not with applause, but with a silence deeper than any ovation. Sarah Chen walked the dry dock alone. The Verdun hung before her, its scars lit by inspection lights. She pressed her palm against the cold, pitted carbon scoring. The metal was silent, but the memory was not. Behind her eyes, the faces of her crew appeared. Kale, the engineers, the silent bridge. They had held.
We didn't know if the fleet would come. We just knew we had to last an hour.
She had gambled her crew on a legal trap and won. But standing here, the cost felt heavier than the victory. The Verdun would not fly again. It was to become a museum, a witness for all time. Her fingers traced a thin scar near the forward battery, a new mark from the hour of mockery.
This one was ours. We earned it. We were never bait. We were a promise.
She stepped back. The Verdun would stand, not as a warship, but as proof that truth outlasts cruelty. The Verdun floated in a timeless sea, its hull aglow with the light of 1,000,000 stars. It bore the scars of war and the silence of vindication, a sentinel no empire could ignore. Across the galaxy, children learned its name, and the protocol it had birthed, and in the quiet of a museum gallery, a recording played of a captain's voice, reading words that had become immortal.
From this hour forward, any who mock the defenseless shall find their mockery turned against them. The witness shall be sacred.
These words were not a threat. They were a promise to the galaxy. Humanity would remember. The Verdun never fired again. It never needed to. In the council halls, the plaque glowed softly. Witness to the truth, Year 1 of the Verdun Protocol, and the stars turned, and peace held, fragile but unbroken. And somewhere in the dark, a single frigate still waits, a witness to the day humanity learned the power of the truth. The Galactic Council broadcast faded. The last image of the Verdun Protocol shimmering into static across 1,000 worlds. Viewers watched the signal dissolve, leaving only a field of stars, and in the center of that field, the Verdun hung, a permanent guardian of the truth. No empire would ever again believe that a lone ship meant weakness. The protocol was carved into law, but its power lived in memory. Every child learned the name of the frigate that held the line. The plaque on its hull glowed softly in the museum's light, a message for all time. The broadcast might end, but the lesson never would. And somewhere in the dark, a single frigate still waits, a witness to the day humanity taught the galaxy the power of the truth. End of transmission.